All right, Jules, time for some more quick hits.
Yes.
Germany and Ukraine battled to a scoreless draw, but Jules, these highlights seem pretty one-sided to me.
I mean, the whole game was, not just the highlights for the ones who have watched, like me, this 0-0 draw. Loads of chances created by Germany, loads of shots that they had. They didn't score. Nagelsmann made a few changes as well after the break. Nothing to worry, I think, from a Germany point of view. Yeah, I think it would have been nice to score and to win. I think Ukraine have better players than to play this low block, super defensive approach kind of thing, you know? I was super disappointed by Ukraine. For Germany, it's kind of what I expected. They'll go far in their own Euros, I really believe that. Julien Nagelsmann said that Manuel Neuer will be the starting keeper for Germany at the Euros, Gab. And obviously, Marc-Andre ter Stegen is not very happy with it.
Well, he did it. He did it in his own very classy way because he's a classy guy. He says it's an unpleasant situation, and I don't agree with the manager's decision. Now, I have max respect for ter Stegen. I think he's a phenomenal keeper. I might even have him ahead of Neuer. Maybe he's going for Neuer for his experience and for for chemistry or whatever. I think you should say I disagree. I think if you're on the bench, you know, I think it's legitimate for ter Stegen to think that he's a better keeper than Manuel Neuer. And I like it when people are honest. Nobody should take him for task or criticize him for airing his views. He did it in a very civil way, and it's Nagelsmann's decision. Yeah. England rolled to a 3-0 win over Bosnia with all three goals coming in the last half hour. The first one from Cole Palmer on penalties.
Yeah.
Jules, are you going to be mean about Southgate again?
No, I mean, there's nothing to be mean for right now. It's a bit too early before the tournament. I was not too impressed, which I think is fair to say, by that first half. I like Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield. I don't know if he's good enough to play there during the Euros when the opposition is better than Bosnia, who were, let's be honest, really bad. But you've won. Harry Kane played a little bit. He's fit. You had Cole Palmer, who did really well. You saw Eze, who did well as well.
Read into this, and there's 59 substitutions at the end. Dzeko was like the only guy left on the Bosnian bench by the end.
But we know that James Maddison is not going to go to the Euros, one of the 7 players to be cut. I've got more of an issue about Southgate taking 33 and having to cut 7. We did the same in France in 1998, and yeah, in the end, Jacquet won the World Cup. That was a mistake. I don't think it's good for players to be cut off like that. We know that Curtis Jones is going to be cut. We know that Jared Kwanzaa is going to be cut as well. There's 4 more to follow. I don't think this is a good situation. I'm not really sure why he did it, to be fair. But this is, I guess, the most important thing this week, not the 3-0 win against Bosnia. Gab, we saw Trent Alexander in midfield. We just mentioned it. You and Oggy did your Liverpool keep and dump and suggested that this is going to be one of the biggest calls this summer from the club.
Absolutely. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Like Salah and Van Dijk, the difference is Salah and Van Dijk are obviously older. You just give them, you let them decide closer to the end of the season. You don't extend them now. That's pretty obvious with Salah and Van Dijk. With Trent, it's a different situation. You have to rely on Slot to decide, all right, where does he fit in, especially considering you've got the heir apparent in Connor Bradley. Could he fit in as part of your midfield core? Maybe. You already have a bazillion midfielders. Or could he move on? He's got a year left.
You would not let him go if you're Liverpool. Why would you let him go?
If the alternative is to give him a giant contract, and then maybe Slot says, yes, but I like Bradley at right back and in midfield. I like McAllister and Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott and whatever. And yeah, if you get a big enough offer and he's willing to go from a Real Madrid, for example, or a Bayern Munich, I mean, Bayern Munich probably not, but why not?
Yeah.
Lenny Yoro is the hot name in the transfer market
this
summer, with the 18-year-old Lille central defender linked to everyone from Manchester United to Real Madrid to Liverpool.
And to PSG and to Chelsea as well. Everybody's after him because he's got 1 year left on his contract, and this is the deal. He leaves this summer. So he can pick his destination. Really, it will be around the 50 million euro mark, which is a lot of money for an 18-year-old.
50 million for an 18-year-old with a year left on his contract.
Yeah, but he's that good. And that's what so many clubs are behind him. If he was not good, there would be so many clubs after him.
If he was not good, then Didier Deschamps would be taking him to the Euros and playing him because he has no idea how to evaluate centre halves. Sorry, that's just the William Saliba in me talking.
But I mean, if there was less competition at centre back, he would have gone to the Euros. He's going to go to they wanted him to go to the Olympics. He's not going to go unless his next club agrees to it. I've got no issue with 50 million for him. He's that good. I can understand why all those clubs are after him. I think his preference right now is Real Madrid. But we'll have to see. I think there could be a bit of a bidding war, to be fair, or a war simply to get him. So we'll have to see.
Why not run your contract down and go as a free agent next year?
No. The agreement with the club is he doesn't want to leave as a free agent. So he will go this summer to give the club some money. And I think that's the right thing to do. And then we see after that. Antonio Conte to Napoli is finally official, Gab.
Yeah, we've talked about this endlessly, but we do have the numbers now. It's 3 years, 12 million euros gross a year, which is an enormous amount of money. And the fun fact that Aurelio De Laurentiis, when they asked him about, but your personalities and Conte's personality, how's that going to work? And he said, well, a few years ago, I was on holiday in the Maldives, and so was Conte, and we got to hang out together. And I'm trying to imagine, how does 7-year-old Aurelio De Laurentiis and Conte, who probably goes and does Pilates and wind sprints up and down under the sun on the beach when he's on vacation. Really? Do you really think that special chemistry was built there? I don't know. Kevin De Bruyne was asked about moving to Saudi Arabia and did not exactly rule it out completely. Are we reading too much into what he says? I mean, I've got the quotes here if you want to summarize them, but
basically,
he's talking like a grown-up.
Yeah, he said that at his age, and he's 32 years old, he would be open to everything. And he says, if I play 2 years there, I will make so much money. I think I'll be disappointed, I won't lie, because he's still way too good for the Saudi League, I think. But maybe he sees things very differently. He's got... the issue, I've got issue with the money because he's earned enough money already. How much money do you want?
He says if he can make more money in 2 years.
Sure.
Which, by the way, I don't know that it's true. I don't know if they're going to keep chucking money at these players.
True. But he will still make a lot of money if he stayed at City for another 2 years.
He's only got 1 year left.
1 year left on his contract. Another 1 year. And I think in a year time, he could still go to Saudi. He could still go somewhere else. City might extend him. You don't know. I'd be sad to see him go. That's for sure. And sticking with City, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. The Pep Guardiola's contract expires in 2025. And the club's chairman, Khaldoun Al-Mubarak, spoke about it.
Yeah, so he does this every year around this time. He sits down with somebody from the club who pretends he's a journalist and asks them questions. It is obviously very scripted. This came out on Wednesday, but it was taped before the news broke of the deal of City taking legal action against the Premier League. I was just shocked by one question. He asked about Pep. And then he says, this decision on his future is always a decision that we will take together. And I'm like, excuse me. You won't take it together. He will take it because he has the expiring contract. I don't know what he means. Yeah. And obviously the guy who interviews him doesn't follow up because, hey, that's not what he does. But I'm thinking to myself, no, this is not. You're not taking it together. He's taking it. You can make him an offer, whatever. You can talk about your plans. But ultimately, come June 30th, 2025, if he does not re-sign, you have zero control over Pep.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher is 1 year away from free agency and has been linked with moves to Tottenham and Aston Villa for a fee of around 50 million. Jules, I know you're a huge fan.
Huge fan, as you know. Great technical player, especially. I don't know. We said 50 million for Euro. You thought was too much. 50 million for Gallagher. I don't know. I can understand if Chelsea needs to sell to balance their books a bit, recoup some money because he's obviously...
Where is he a better fit, Spurs or Villa? You say neither.
No, he doesn't strike me as an Ange player.
No, he does not.
For how much the midfield is important for Ange Postecoglou. For Villa, maybe a bit more. I'm not sure. I mean, if I was Spurs or Villa, I would not sign him anyway. So it's just me. I'm sorry, Connor. It's just me. And more Chelsea, more midfield. Enzo Maresca, the new Chelsea manager, would reportedly like to be reunited with Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, who did so well for him at Leicester last season.
Yeah, and they're talking about a £40 million deal. This sounds like a lot of money, but that says Dewsbury-Hall is good at what he does.
Yeah.
And there's no question, I think Chelsea are short in midfield, especially if Maresca ends up playing 4-3-3, which is what he played most of last year. Morocco beat Congo 3-2 in a women's friendly that was anything but friendly. Jules, we're not used to seeing fists fly in the men's game anymore, let alone the women's game. What did you make of Congo's Ruth Kipoi punching Yasmin Rabet in the face?
Incredible scenes. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out because it's a proper punch as well. It's not just argy-bargy. It's a proper punch in the face.
It's a glancing blow because she doesn't but she's fortunate. Like, I don't think she expects it coming. And
no, and the referee is right there. Incredible. I didn't know there was so much tension between Morocco and Congo. I don't know if there was previous. I tried to look for previous. Could not find any beef that could have happened before. I mean, Morocco are, with South Africa, the two best teams in Africa for the women's game. But maybe there's a rivalry somewhere that I've missed. Or maybe it was just
I don't remember
reaction.
the last time I saw a punch to the face in the men's game. Like, you really have to go way back. So obviously not what anybody wants to see.
That's true. Cody Gakpo sat down with our own Tom Hamilton and shed some light on his thought process, Gab, when it comes to transfer.
Okay, I don't know if this is cool or it's just weird. So effectively, it's the end of the summer transfer window in 2022.
Yeah.
He's still at PSV Eindhoven. This is about 6 months before he moves to Liverpool. Yeah. He has offers from Southampton. He's offers from Leeds United. He can also stay at PSV. And so he said, so he prayed to God. Fine. He's a Christian. That's fine. But then he said, God, I have 3 situations here. If I score once in this game, it means I'm going to Southampton. If I score twice, it means you want me to go to Leeds. If I score 3 times, then I'm staying at PSV Eindhoven. Had no option for not scoring at all, which is weird. Anyway, he ends up scoring 3 times. They score 7 goals. They beat Volendam. And he ends up staying. And 6 months later, he moves to Liverpool in all's history. This is like something a child would do.
Why?
Listen, I'm not going to get into what anybody's personal relationship with God is. But when you say, and I'm all for the God give me a sign thing, right? But this isn't God giving you a sign. This is you giving yourself a sign when you're actually out there playing football and trying to score. I don't follow this.
He believes God is with him when he plays, so it would guide him through that game to score 1, 2, or 3, and then that would impact his decision.
And there's no chance he wouldn't score at all or get injured
well, no,
after 3 minutes.
But, I mean, at least he's open and talks about it.
No,
it's
look,
better than if he had just said, well, I wasn't sure what to do, so I stayed, and then, do you see what I mean?
More power to them. I don't know what this guy's like when he goes out and orders dinner off the menu. I don't.
No, there's a story about Wooden Hippo as well. It's a great article that you can see on the ESPN website, obviously.